It's that time again. I hope everybody's doing fantastic on this Wednesday, August 21st. Kids are almost back to school. For some of you, they are back to school, so your mornings are changing a little bit. It's a little crisp here in Jersey, so I am excited about being able to wear a sweatshirt without keeping my house on 56 degrees or the office. It is one of those days where you wake up and you think about all the successes that the week before had led to. There's been some amazing podcasts and articles written by my colleagues and others at CEO Warrior, others in our industry. So, we love reading anything that has to do with making you guys better. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? Working together to make their service industry even better than they've ever been. Because today we look at the ability to, I guess, come together with, going against maybe AI because it's not natural, it's not human. But when we look at an industry as a whole, we look at how do we make it better because we're human, we're people. And the more people that we can collaborate with in order to make that a reality, the better it is for the service based industry. So many things are done with technology today that we don't have as much human interaction. We all know that post COVID, people were craving human interaction, and we're seeing a result of it. I know I spoke about mental health a couple weeks ago on my first live with Breakfast at Sandy, and it really is a big issue, something for companies to look out for and support wholeheartedly is the lack of connection. And that kind of leads me into thinking about sales, right? The lack of connectivity and the ease of use of pressing a one click, I can have it in an hour button has taken some of the buying decisions and buying patterns of those consumers and changed the way that we think, right? There's a book written years ago called The Parity of Choice, and it was a phenomenal read regarding how our brains think and how consumers purchase, but that has shifted, and each day it shifts. So we have to stay on top of our training and our sales process more now than ever, because it is a human game. It is a connection game. Some people just don't connect out there. So whenever we're in a competitive situation, even in our industry, I know that one of the things we do really well is we train for connection. We connect. We're relationship connectors. You don't have to be the smartest, the brightest, the most successful, but you have to be able to connect with people. You have to have relationships. You need to be able to promote relationships. I myself has same relationships since I'm a little kid, same friends, childhood friends, because I nurtured them. And that's what you do for each other. And that's what you have to do for your clients. That's what you do for your internal employees, your external employees, or your customers, or your clients. So how are you sustaining that? How are you keeping track and measuring? How are you making sure that those on your team, from everyone who is in the marketing department all the way through your outbounding department, are keeping their close tabs on the relationships? How are we building that connectivity? Because when we're helping our clients internally in our world, our CEO Warrior members, and I don't care who I've worked for, I don't care if it's CEO Warrior or the other people I've consulted for in the past, Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins, because by far, you want to talk about a sales process, go work for Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes. It was one of the most incredible sales processes ever, and I bring a lot of that knowledge to CEO Warrior because that is what they did for us. And most of it was just discipline, consistency, and understanding the mind of your consumer and understanding yourself, and really the self awareness, and how we are able to adapt to certain situations, and to hone in our listening skills. And that's really the reality of sales. It's just about listening, asking the right questions. But you have to put together a consistent process that's going to help people, lead them down a path of what they can see as the end result of what you do for them. Because I talk about price over and over again. It's irrelevant. If you want something, you figure out a way to buy it. And if we're not measuring the sales in our companies, then we're failing. And KPIs, key performance indicators, they're great, and we should put those metrics in. They're not always the end all because you have to be managing to the measurement. But I look at, people talk about targets all the time. I talk about targets all the time, but it's really deeper than that, isn't it? It's not just about targets, because a guy can, or a lady that is in the service expert field, or a comfort advisor, um, or anybody who's doing sales for your home based industry, they literally can take two sales and hit their target for the week, but that doesn't make them a good salesperson just because they hit their target. So, one of the first things that you should do when someone comes in is profile them as a personality profile. Where are they in that spectrum? What are they? Whether it's a disc profile or any of the other ones, Myers Briggs. I don't really care. There's so many out there. There's some that are just built. I know, back in the day we had Caliber, Princeton Review. There were so many that profiled, and there's hundreds more now. What that gives you the ability to do is, number one, how does that person fit in adaptability wise on your team for sales for your business, to be able to sell. And this isn't, again, just about selling experts, because oftentimes we're relating this to how well their skill set is to be able to go out and service a client. But if they can't speak to the client, or they're not helping them to understand their options, then they're still not doing the client and keeping them in the best interest. So we have to think about, what does that look like for your company, and what are we going to measure, and then how are we going to put those people in the right seats. And this all goes back to dispatch. A lot of times in the CEO world, which has changed a lot, and there's so many great things going on. We actually have Sales Warrior next week, Sales Warrior 2.0. Thank you, Kevin Hill, revamped the entire Sales Warrior training, and it's going to be a 2.0 level. So excited to be able to bring that to our warriors next week. But we look at KPIs, and we look at what is measurable. Obviously, we talk about conversions. How many calls are they running? How many are they converting? What the average ticket is? And these are easy, simplistic things to do on a daily basis, right? What does your leads look like, and how well do we turn those leads? How many memberships are selling? What are our callbacks look like? Because this is all how we should be evaluating someone who's on our teams. What does the labor and revenue look like? Targets and goals. Look at how we're doing contests within the organization. Like, how well are you running the play each day? So that conversion ratio goes into, and I ask this question all the time to any prospect that comes into our world. What's your conversion rate for sales? I don't know. What is your conversion rate for service versus, maybe new install? I don't know. How are you not measuring this? Because how are we training to what we're not measuring? Even for ourselves, I don't care if you're one truck. Why are you not keeping track? After every single call, are you writing down what went well? What didn't go well? What objections were you unable to overcome? Where did you feel that you didn't build rapport? Where did you feel that you lost the sale? And then keep evaluating. And as a service manager or a sales manager, these are the questions I would be asking. I don't care if your meeting's on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Ours were always Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. I did that for 12 years, and it paid off big time. Company went to 65 million. So I look at, replication. How can we repeat the process over and over again? Can we close our eyes and be able to run the play from start to finish without having to think about it, so that when the customer does trip us up in the middle of a consultation, we can pick it right back up? Your presentation should have every objection in it. In your training, this isn't just about, praising people for reviews. We've got to really be very insightful into understanding, where did you find yourself getting nervous and over explaining, or not being able to carry out the options properly that being discussed, because you didn't ask the right questions from the beginning. We didn't build the objections that we already know we're going to hear into the presentation. This is all for sustainability. Like, your company's running on leads, if your company's running on sales. If we don't sell, we're washed up. Pretty much know that. So, what are we looking to achieve in 12 months? How are you guys forecasting out? How many calls need to be dispatched and ran in order to hit your numbers and the goals that we hear all the time? Have we figured that out? Have we reverse engineered it? Have we brought it to the team so that they know what their daily targets are? And then what's that going to do for their lives? How's that going to change? How can we train to their thoughts of what they want their life to look like? Not just a target, it's just not money. What is that money going to do for them? What's it going to do for you as a company? And why are we not all aligned with that vision? This should be an every single day conversation, end of day wrap up, debrief with dispatch. Everyone should know where they are in the number board. Because I just find too many companies out there wasting leads. I'm all about missed opportunity costs. Even at CEO Warrior or anywhere else I've ever been, or the company and clients that we serve. Missed opportunity costs, and I'm not talking about just operational efficiencies, but missed opportunities in sales and service. Why are we not measuring that? It's not about what you sell, it's about what you didn't sell and the money that we're leaving on the table. If you're going to be able to be a top-notch competitor in this market, in this climate, you are needing to raise your standards of the people that work for you. And if they fail, it's because of you. It's because of the sales manager, and the sales manager is following the owner and the leader. It's just about training for people and understand their capabilities and capacity, understanding who they work really well with, understanding what leads they sell. If it's a Google lead and I don't really go and do cold leads that well, either I need more training on that, or until I get up to par, or I'm going to put somebody else on that lead. If it's a repeat customer and I'm new to your company, maybe that's who you're going to send, is me. Because I'm better at that. Because I know that there's a rapport already built. I'm more comfortable until I learn. But we have to be measuring. We have to be understanding what that looks like from the internal perspective. I mean, we have companies that are leaving $500,000 on the table quarterly. Some of them, I think we've measured up into 400 and something thousand a month in lost opportunity. Why aren't you getting an outbounder? Saying you can't afford it? We have companies in our world who other outbounders are pulling in $3 million of revenue for the company. Just the outbounder on lost business, or memberships, or opportunities that the service or comfort advisor found at the home and looking for future opportunities. Multi trades, right? What is the opportunity? What is the opportunity cost of not doing this? So I just want you guys to think differently today. And I just, I was going through some old training material from years ago, and the climate may have changed, and maybe the way that we do business has changed, but people really essentially haven't changed. The way that we are innately hasn't changed. So we just have to be able to sell to people. People are people. And we make it so much more difficult, right? People ask the same things all the time. They ask for how many references. So why aren't we going out with that already planned out? Have references available. Talk in your presentation about the agenda and what it's going to look like. We're not emailing you a proposal, a consultation, an estimate, whatever you call it, 3 days later. We're going to do it right now while we're sitting here. We're going to offer your options to you. Whatever that is looking like for your company, make sure you build that into your proposal so you don't hear it at the end. Anytime you're getting down to the end and not building enough value, it's because we haven't gone all the way back to the forefront of measuring. These KPIs will be a life-changing year. Why are we not keeping scorecards based on KPIs and measuring performance based on that? This is all things that are not that difficult to put into your company. The problem is you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. This even goes for you. I ask single truck operators all the time what their conversions are. And they're like, I don't know, I'm pretty good. I'm going to sell every job I go on. Really? Is that true? Is it? Because as The reality is on paper. And are you profitable? Because I couldn't care less about your revenue. Are you profitable? Are you likable? Are we coming back to you? Are people referring other people to you? How's your brand? How's your reputation in the market? More importantly, how's your reputation? So sales is just, it's all encompassing. It's everyone in the organization is constantly selling. From the person that picks up the phone all the way to anyone who's doing the thank you call, right? Whatever. Everyone's always selling. So make sure that you're ready for that sale and you're measuring it throughout your office. And it doesn't make you a tyrant leader. Have we all worked for tyrant leaders? Absolutely. But it makes you become a performance based company. And it's not micromanaging, it's helping people to get to the level that they deserve. So when you guys are looking at KPIs and people are feeling like, oh, now he's watching me or she's watching me, it's not really about that. So make sure you explain it because it all comes out, and that's how we project it to our client. How are they feeling pressure on their sales performance? Help them, train them, get them up to speed. I know as well, I have many jobs I was never trained or onboarded properly. And it took a long time to be able to autocorrect. And it did the company a disservice, it did our clients a disservice, and it did me, of course, a disservice. But once you can put that into your daily regimen of training, you're going to see an uptick in everyone throughout your organization. Being held accountable isn't always a bad thing. Jason Knoll, those of you who know him, who's one of our master advisors here, just put together an entire new client journey. It's amazing. It's all about the owner's journey for the first 3 years of working in your business. And it's helping to stop that overwhelm, which I know salespeople feel too. So if the owner's feeling overwhelmed in their journey to helping to solidify a better run company, and really understand how they can bring their balance in to not just have a job, have a business that can run without them, because that's ultimate, right? We have a business that all runs without. I mean, I don't even go into my business anymore. It runs without me. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. It didn't always, but we get to that point because we trained other people to do that, whether they're selling or they're answering the phones or they're carrying out any tasks at hand. So think about that with your KPIs and your sales team, training team. What does their journey look like? What is their process of selling? What does their running the play look like? How do we fit that in? Because it affects the clients. I just had 2 service companies here this week, and I'm in New Jersey, I'm not mentioning any names, but it was a terrible experience. I actually just was interviewed for an article, and the reason that they called CEO Warrior is because her experience was so terrible with the company that she had chosen. And she has been a long time 10-year client for that company. So she asked about what would you do in these instances where you find your clients were receiving this kind of service and this kind of value. You wonder why people go to price. Because if you're all delivering absolute crap value, why would they want to be able to keep doing business with you? Why do we have that? It is so much easier to make people happy that we've already made happy, right? Chet Holmes used to call it his Dream 100 clients, and sell more services to the people over and over again who are already in your world instead of spending thousands of dollars on marketing. But what does your play look like? Each week, we go over that here at CEO Warrior. We act as fractional sales or service managers in your companies. Come in to your meetings and watch either the sales or service manager lead their trainings. Sometimes we're quiet, sometimes we're not, sometimes we lead the meeting. But that's our commitment to the clients in our world, is that we want to see what you're doing that's creating that consistency. We're creating that process so that when your competitors or people are in times when they may not have the money to do replacements and they're not being able to be qualified for financing, we're going to win. Our clients are going to win because they have the competitive advantage, and that's just being human, being people. That's all this is a people game. Next week at Sales Warrior, we're going to be talking all about understanding the minds of the consumer. And that's what's so important. It's not just about the products that you sell, it's about the people that you serve. And it's about you and how you can help to calibrate your nervous system, how you can understand yourself. So when you're in a client's home, you're in a relaxed state, asking the right questions. You know when to shut up. Most of salespeople and service people don't know when to shut up. I talk a lot. Everybody knows it. But knowing when to be quiet when you're in a selling capacity and truly listen is where the magic happens, is it not? That's how we create trust with people. So if you are looking for a sales audit, if you are not a client of CEO Warrior and you're looking for help and guidance, DM me. You guys are DMing me all week with great questions, and I appreciate it, and I thank you. Hopefully we're adding some value back into your world. But if you do have a question, you want a full out sales audit, you want to understand the conversions that you're going through now and your sales rates, if you're looking at how this is affecting your overall targets, let's get on a call. I have no problem walking you through it. It's an eye opener for sure. We want to see your missed opportunities. We also want to see where can you be. When we ask a question of where do you want to be in 12 months, where do your salespeople want to be and what's it going to do for them? That's going to help you to understand your numbers. It's going to help you to understand your training. Unlock the potential of your team. All right, everybody. See you soon. Have a great Wednesday, a great week, and a great last 2 weeks of summer. Enjoy.